Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yeti from Earth to Plates, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I am harvesting and using the cabbage from the garden. Now these seeds were started back in March and I am harvesting it in July. It took exactly 4 months from when I started it until I harvested it. And we got 6 heads of cabbage. One of them was not a fully formed head, but otherwise we got 5 beautiful heads. And I'm going to show you a few different things that I'm doing with it. And one of the heads I gave away to a family member that enjoys eating the cabbage straight up as is without cooking it down or doing anything with it. And the one that didn't fully form the head, I also enjoyed like that, just eating it fresh as is. On this day, I actually only harvested 5 heads because the 6th one I had harvested a couple days earlier when I wanted to use it. Now guys, if you enjoy watching my videos, I would really appreciate it. First of all, if you can like the video. Second of all, if you can hit the subscribe button. And like that, you can keep up with whatever I have planned. I have a lot of fun things coming up. It's a lot of kitchen days, cooking, preserving, and in the future, over the fall, winter, and spring, we are planning to extend our garden. So if you want to keep up and watch as we do that, go through that process, then hit the notification bell as well so you can be notified as soon as a new video goes live. So this is our cabbage that we've harvested. We've got 5 heads, 4 that are really heads. One is like just a few cabbage leaves. Now that we're inside, I'm going to show you what I do with the cabbage. Now one of the cabbages sat in the far back of my fridge and it froze. So that I had to cook down. I couldn't use it fresh. So I'm making some cabbage noodles. Now if you're buying cabbage in the store, just cook down a whole bag of cabbage, 1 pound of cabbage. That's all you need for a bag of pasta. Now I'm cooking up a bag of bow tie pasta to go along with it. I just did the whole thing. I combined whatever I wanted with the pasta. The rest I froze once it was cooked down, and I'm gonna be able to use it in another batch of the cabbage noodles when I make it. Once the cabbage is done cooking, I am gonna strain out the most oil possible. Then I'm gonna combine it with the pasta and season it with salt and pepper until I like the flavor of it. Next up, we will be making some grilled cabbage. So we're going to start with the head of cabbage that we're going to cut into 8 wedges and place it on a heavy-duty foil if you have. I did not have that, so I used a double layer of regular foil. Next, you're going to take some butter that you have softened. So I had forgotten to take it out of the fridge early enough, so I melted it. But if you do that, then I will just cut the butter into little slices and put 1 slice over each wedge. Then we're going to take chopped up onion. We're going to sprinkle that on top of the cabbage and the butter. Sprinkle with some garlic salt and some pepper. Wrap up the foil, and then you're going to grill it over medium heat until tender. This takes about 20 minutes. Once this comes off the grill, the recipe says to garnish it with parsley and dressing of choice. I like the combination of cabbage with tahini. So I went ahead and off camera I made some to be able to drizzle over the top once this came off the grill. Here we go. Now that this is off the grill, I'm going to remove each wedge from the foil packet and I'm going to drizzle it with some tahini. And instead of sprinkling parsley on top, I actually harvested some celery on this day. So I took those greens and I used that instead of the parsley. I had some friends over, some family over, and whoever tasted it loved it. It was tender, soft, juicy, flavorful, really a hit. Next up, we're making some vegetable dumplings. And for this, I am cutting up first a medium onion diced, 8 ounces of shiitake mushrooms, remove the stems, and diced. I think I by mistake sliced it, but it came out just as good. We're going to use 1 cup of shredded cabbage and a half a cup of shredded carrots. This recipe is something that my family has immensely enjoyed. I've already made it a couple times since, and I can see myself making it many times in the future. Now, this, once it is done, it is crunchy, golden brown on one side, and soft and chewy on the other side, with a delicious filling inside. And it is so, so good, and we cannot seem to get enough of it. Once I have all the vegetables prepped, we're moving over to the stove top. We're heating a tablespoon of oil in a wok over medium-high heat. We're going to add the onions and cook it, stirring frequently until it is translucent. Then we'll add the mushrooms and cook that for 3 to 5 minutes until the mushroom liquid has cooked off and the mushrooms itself begin to brown. Then we're going to season it with black pepper, mix that in, add the cabbage and carrots, and cook until all the vegetables are tender and any liquid has cooked off. And continue stirring this constantly to prevent this from burning. Once this is done, you're going to remove it from the heat and we're going to place the vegetables into a bowl to help it cool off faster. And we're going to add a teaspoon of sesame oil, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of soy sauce, and we're going to mix this all together and let it sit on the side until it has completely cooled. Now that the filling is cooled, it is time to assemble the dumplings. Now I'm using wonton wrappers because my store didn't have dumpling wrappers. And the way to do it is I put one wrapper down on the counter at a time. I put some water around the edges to help seal it. I put a heaping teaspoon in the center of it, and I sealed it up tightly, as tight as possible. I pinched it closed to make sure that there is no leakage when it's cooking. And I'm going to do this until I use up all of the filling and all of the wrappers. Here I'll be making the dipping sauce that will go with the dumplings. I'm going to combine all of the ingredients in one bowl, mix it together, and that's it. So what I'm adding is a teaspoon of maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, a teaspoon of rice vinegar, a teaspoon of sriracha sauce, 1 large garlic clove that I will mince, 1 scallion thinly sliced, and a half a teaspoon of sesame oil. Next up, we will be cooking the dumplings. So to do that, we will heat 2 tablespoons of oil in a pan over medium-high heat. I'm going to place the dumplings on the flat side. I'm going to let it cook for 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to reduce the heat to low, add a little bit of water to coat the bottom of the pan. I'm going to cover it immediately because it's going to start spritzing. Now I'm going to let it steam until the water disappears. I'm going to remove the lid, increase the heat again, and let it cook until the bottom is brown and crispy, about 2 to 3 additional minutes. Then I'm going to remove it from the pan, and this is what they look like. They are delicious. The last thing I will be making for today's video is some classic coleslaw. So at home I had shredded some cabbage and I took it along with me. We went to a family member's house for a barbecue. So I made the coleslaw over there. I started by shredding a couple of carrots. Now if you have a bag of coleslaw, go ahead and use that. I have made this many times, so most of the time I don't even measure it. I just measure out how much cabbage and carrots I have to know how much to adjust it for. But if you use a bag of coleslaw mix, that is 1 pound of coleslaw and carrots. And you're going to add a half a cup of mayonnaise, a half a cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. I usually do half of that amount of sugar. It's not necessary to put that amount, but this is the recipe that I usually follow, and do it however you please. And all I'm going to do is I put all of it in the container. I tried mixing it at first. It was kind of hard. And then my family member was like, why don't you shake it? Cover it, shake it. I thought it was a brilliant idea. And I think this is how I'll do it going forward. It's just so much easier and one less thing to dirty up. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to pop some more videos up here on the screen for you to watch between now and my next upload. And remember, it means a lot to me if you can hit the like and subscribe button. It really would help me out a lot. Thank you, and see you again next time.